Hello, my name is Steve Milet, and I am the new Chief of Police here in Akron, Ohio. This video is going to be the first of a series of videos that we will be producing to communicate information out to the public, specifically to everyone who calls Akron home. These video messages, for the most part, are going to be unscripted, kind of shooting from the hip, with information that I have been hearing from the community they want to hear from their chief or from their police department. But this first video message is really an introductory video message for me to introduce myself and the purpose of these videos. Like I said, I don't have a script. I do have some general notes that I'll be looking down at as I communicate information out to the public. But I've found that when I'm speaking from the heart, it comes across a little bit more genuine, and I hope you find that to be the case. So, the purpose of these video messages from the Chief's office is simply to get information into the community's hands. It's to answer questions that I often get asked in public or we're getting through email, frequently asked questions, and again, to get that information out into the public's hands. Another purpose of these video messages is to educate the community on who your police department, who your police officers are, and what we do, why we do it, when we do it, under what circumstances do we do it. I don't want anything that's withheld from the public to cause the public to question, what we're doing here in the police department. Because folks, we're your servants. That is our first responsibility, is to serve. And in part of that service is to get information into your hands. Through these video messages, we're going to tackle some serious issues facing the community. I will be sharing crime information. I'll be sharing information on complaints that we get in the police department and how we're handling things. Because I've been here for 3 months, a little bit more than 3 months. And I will tell you that in my interactions with our police officers and the community, I think Akron's got a pretty darn good police department. Not perfect. There's room for growth. There's room for improvement. And many times, where the greatest improvements come from the customers. The ideas come from the customers we serve, which is the public. So we are here to listen, we're here to engage, and we are constantly looking for ways to improve. At its foundation, through these video messages and the interactions that we will be having with the public, quite simply, is to build trust. Over the last several years, unfortunately, the police profession has lost trust in certain parts of the community. And it is our mission here in the Akron Police Department to continue to build upon the trust that we've earned over decades and to find better ways to serve. So my hope, again, through this video effort is to get to know each other a little bit better and to establish that solid foundation of trust. And like I said, and as you can see already, my comments are unscripted. So I will bounce around a little bit here and there, but I will try to keep it as concise as possible to where these video messages are, between 3 and 7 minutes long. So the frequency of the video messages, my hope is that we're going to be able to produce at least 2 a month. And depending upon the circumstances, there may be more. If there is an issue facing the community that is a emerging issue or something that the community wants to hear from the chief or members of the police department immediately, I promise you we will get out in front of it and we will get information into your hands. I'm going to shift just a little bit because I think it's important that you know who your chief is. And so I'd like to just tell you just a little bit about myself. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. I am the seventh son of seven sons. My dad was a New York City police officer. My mom was a homemaker. My parents raised me and my brothers on Long Island. As I grew up, I understood and learned the values that I hold today and that serve as a boundary to me: integrity, honor, morality. These things are very, very important as I serve you all and I serve the members of the Akron Police Department. Excuse me one second, because this isn't scripted. Following graduation from high school, I joined the United States Air Force, where I served as a security policeman. Following my 4 years in the Air Force, I joined the Corpus Christi Police Department, which is in Deep South Texas, where I spent 23 years serving that wonderful community. I rose through the ranks from police cadet to assistant chief of police over operations. I retired there after about 23 and a half years of service. Following my time in Corpus Christi, I served as chief of police for the city of Southlake, Texas, which is right between Dallas and Fort Worth. I learned a lot of different things in that community. I am very, very grateful to have gotten the opportunity to serve the Southlake community. It's a great police department, it's a great city government, and I learned a lot. I learned how to be an executive in that city. From there, I moved on to Bellevue, Washington, where I served as chief of police for a little bit more than 6 years. Bellevue is right next to and adjacent to Seattle. I call it the international community. And there was first generation immigrants from all over the world. And again, a wonderful community, great police department, great city government. And I learned a lot there. When I was notified that Akron was looking for a chief of police, I did my research. And one of the things that led me to be interested in competing for this job was the vision of our mayor, Dan Horrigan. When I listened to him and in his video messages out to the public, his message was consistent across the board. And again, it was about serving the community. I got to know the mayor just a little bit during the application process and as we competed for the position. And his value system and the value system of members of his cabinet were very, very similar to mine, if not spot on. So it made it very, very easy for me to say, I would like to join this organization. I applied, I competed against some outstanding police chiefs and assistant chiefs, and I was given the great honor of being offered the job to serve here in Akron. So over the last 3 months, I've been getting to know the men and women of the Akron Police Department. I've been meeting with community members, and I've also been going through the Ohio State Peace Officers course, which I'm almost done with. So it's been very busy. I've been trying to get to know as much about Akron in the shortest amount of time. I know where Luigi's is. I know where Swenson's is. And I know how to get to my house. So I think I'm doing pretty good. But I find Akron to be a wonderful community and everybody is welcome. My wife, Joanne, and I, more than we could have ever imagined. I am married to Joanne. We've been married going on 31 years. We have 4 children, adult children, Valerie, Stephen, Anna, and Christian. All 4 are married. We have 2 grandchildren and 1 on the way. So we're pretty excited about setting roots and establishing roots here in Akron. So, enough about me. I'm going to draw this first video message to a close by saying this. We are entering the holiday season, and tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And for me and mine, we always take stock of what we have, and we give great thanks for the blessings that God has bestowed upon us. And one of those blessings now is that we landed in Akron. I encourage all of you to please spend time with the ones that you love. Take stock of the things that have been given to you and all the blessings that God has given you and give thanks. But the one thing I would ask you to please do is not put yourself or your family members in a situation where a police officer has to knock on your door to deliver terrible messages. Because folks, I've done that too many times in my career, where people have driven drunk and fatalities have occurred and tragedies have occurred. Please don't do that to those who you love, and please don't do that to yourself. Please have an outstanding, happy Thanksgiving, but do so responsibly. Folks, on behalf of the women and men of the Akron Police Department, and from my family to yours, happy Thanksgiving.